everyone. Today we will look at Unit 7, Work and Industry, and we will do the lecture Global Business, the Case of MTV. As you know, we start with doing the test. Let's start the test and see what you will do. When you start the test, you will see that we have a text here about global brands. Can you please read the text here carefully, and then you should find the meanings of the words here. This is multiple choice question actually. So as you see, there are 9 questions. You should find the meaning of, you should choose the meaning of brand, global, popular, business plan, local, case study, invest, statistic, and at the top of their game. Circle the phrase with a similar meaning to the underlined idiom. So this is an idiom actually, at the top of their game. Which phrase has a similar meaning with this? Okay, when you are done with the test, you should download the handout here. Again, we start with the skills focus. Now we will focus on lecture language that signals the big picture. So at the beginning of a lecture, the professor usually tells you the big picture. By big picture, actually, we mean the general plan of the lecture. The big picture is like a map for students to follow. It shows how the professor will present the material in the lecture. And you should listen for the words and expressions that professors use to tell you the big picture of the lecture. So let's look at the expressions. First, we will look at, and then we will look at. I'm going to cover, and then. We will discuss a few examples of types of. Today, I'm going to look at several ways that. I want to discuss the causes, and what I want to do is compare to. So as you see here, we have an introduction from a lecture actually. We want you to circle the topic and underline or label the lecture language. This is done for you. So let's look at and try to understand. What is the topic of the lecture? It is the history of global brands. What is the lecture language here? What I want to talk about this morning is actually, I should include is as well. So this is the lecture language. What about specific focus? Specific focus is this. The causes and the failure of some companies that have tried to do business. This is the specific focus. And the lecture language for this, I want to discuss. Now, when you go down, you will see that here we have 2 more introductions. And here we have the audio. Can you please listen these 2 introductions and write what is the lecture focus, what is the specific lecture focus, and what is the lecture focus language and specific lecture focus language. It is the same for introduction too. Now pause the recording, listen the introductions, and find the necessary things here. Okay, now let's look at topic for the first introduction. The topic is a case study of levels. Okay, so this is the topic. What is the lecture language for topic? Our topic today is, let me make it green. So this is the lecture language. For specific focus, what is specific focus? device has expanded globally. This is the specific focus. Okay, and what is the lecture language for it? Today I'm going to look at several ways that this is the lecture language, specific focus lecture language. In the second introduction, the topic is the qualities of successful international brands of food today. And what is specific focus? Compare the business plan of chocolate to the business plan of Lindt chocolate, whatever. So this is the specific focus. What about lecture language? For topic, we are going to discuss. This is the lecture language here. And for specific focus, specific topic, what I want to do today is. This is the lecture language for specific topic. Okay, now let's turn back to the handout. We have the questions for the lecture. Let's look at it. What is the specific focus of the lecture? You know, this is at the very beginning of the lecture. You will hear this. Please write the specific focus. And how long has MTV been active? How many people does it reach, and who is their audience? You should give the detail. You should write the answers for these three questions. And next, what is MTV's business plan? You should write their plan. And the lecturer gives 6 statistics that show how successful MTV is around the world. What are they? So you should write 6 statistics here. And 5, what are 2 things that MTV does to be successful? Okay, they are successful, but what are these 2 things they do to be successful? And what does MTV do to produce programs with local talent? Here, you should be careful with this word, local talent. And here we have 2 numbers, 20% and 40%. What do they represent? And what does it mean? They are at the top of their game. You should choose A, B, or C. And last question, what is the focus of next lecture? Generally, at the end of the lecture, the lecturer talks about the assignment or the focus of next lecture, homework for the lecture, whatever. You should be careful for the last part of the lecture. Okay, now, please pause the recording and watch the video and answer the questions. Please don't forget that you should listen twice. Okay, I assume that you watched the video, you answered the questions. So let's look at the answers together. The first question, what is the specific focus of the lecture? This is the specific topic, the reasons for the gigantic success of MTV, the reasons for the success of MTV. As long as you include the keywords, reasons and success, it is acceptable. And next question, how long has MTV been active? How long? For 25 years or so. How many people does it reach? More than. Please, in the exam, don't forget to write more than, over, about, nearly, approximately. They are important actually. More than 1 billion people around. And who is the audience? Young people between the ages of 10 and 34. And what is MTV's business plan? Their business plan is to expand their network. Okay. They want to exist everywhere in the world. This is another way to say it. Until every person in the world has the ability to watch MTV. This is another way to say it. So the same things actually. If you write one of them, it is okay. And the lecturer gave 6 statistics that show how successful MTV is around the world. Let's look at statistics now. $1.2 billion MTV brought. MTV reached about 88 million homes. MTV is in more than 331 million homes. It is in 164 countries and you can watch it in 18 different languages. Actually, you should write the numbers and you should tell what is this number or what does this number represent. And what are 2 things that MTV does to be successful? The first one is this: they play the local popular music. And next one, it looks local. Actually, the keyword for reasons for the 2 things actually, it is local. So they play the local popular music and it looks local. 2 things that MTV does to be successful. And what does MTV do to produce programs with local talent? What do? They hire staff in each country. If they are in Turkey, they hire Turkish people. If they are in India, they hire Indian people. So this is the thing they do with local talent. And 7, what does 20% represent and what does 40% represent? Let's look at it. MTV's global market is growing 20% each year. And what is 40%? They want to increase this to 40%. They are growing, okay, 20% each year, but they want to increase this to 40%. And what does it mean? They are at the top of their game. They play music very well. They are successful now because they play local music and they are number 1 in the market. Actually, C is correct. When we say at the top of their game, we mean that it is number 1. It is the best one, actually. And last question, what is the focus of next lecture? Next time we will look at again at MTV's success and see how we could apply these ideas. And all this stuff we said today about this one company to other kinds of international businesses. Actually, the sentence is this: MTV's success and see how we could apply these ideas to other kinds of international businesses. This is the focus of next lecture. Okay, now let's go back to Schoology page. Here we have an audio dictation activity. Now, can you please pause the recording and listen the dictation sentences? And sentences are here. You should check your sentences. You should see your mistakes. And that's all for today's lesson.